Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hafis Fadli Rosva with student ID 2010933004 from Class A, Organization and Management Industrial Company, Andalas University. Today, I will explain about the Organization and Management Industrial Company in a nutshell. So the first one, why study OMPI is important? Management is one of the important things in industrial engineering science. In the field of industrial engineering, an industrial engineer not only has a scientific skills, but also needs to have a social skills or abilities such as planning, organizing, actualizing, controlling to achieve the goals of a company. Therefore, an industrial engineering student needs to learn about the organization and management of industrial companies. An industrial engineer needs to know what a manager is, the classification of managers in the organization. In addition, they must also understand the definition of a management, organization, the characteristics and organizational concepts. The history of background management should also be well known. These basic things that must be necessary and important for an industrial engineer to know. An industrial engineer also need to know some major approaches to management. An industrial engineer will later work in a company or a certain place that contains many people. Therefore, it is necessary to have a good understanding of the culture, the work environment of a company or organization where we will be. There are several dimension points of organizational culture that are studied in this course. In addition, an industrial engineer also needs to know about a global organization, and managing in a global environment. In the world of work, someone will definitely be faced with a problem. Therefore, a manager needs to make a decision or policy within the company. This is known as the decision-making process. This is very essential for an industrial engineer. In this course, students are given knowledge about the decision-making and the decision-making processes, the step of decision-making process, the styles of decision-making process, the models, etc. A decision or a policy to be taken must be carefully thought out by a manager. A manager needs to have skills in planning, because this is very important so that a company or organization that we lead has a clear direction to going forward. Therefore, this course also teaches students about what a planning is, how do managers plan, describe the purposes of a planning and why planning is important, the types of plan, types of goals, approaches for establishing goals, planning, etc. In this course, students are also given knowledge about the organizational design and structure. Discuss the traditional and the contemporary view of work specialization. Describe each of the 5 forms of departmentalization. Explain cross-functional teams. Differentiate chain of command, authority, the responsibility, and the unity of command. Discuss the traditional and contemporary view of chain of command. Discuss the traditional and the contemporary view of span of control. In an organization, communication is very important. Therefore, students are given knowledge about the communication, communication skill, and then understand what the communication is, the information and technology, and how the IT or information technology affects the organization. An increasingly advanced era makes managers have to make changes so that their organization or company still exists and doesn't lag behind the competitors. Therefore, knowledge of change management needs to be known by an industrial engineer. An industrial engineer needs to understand what a group is, how to define a group, the types of group, explain work group behavior, and how to make an effective team. This is very important for an industrial engineer to know because later they will work together as a one team. This course also discusses the motivating employees. Students are given knowledge about what motivation is and then explain the motivation as a need satisfying processes, early theory about the motivation, and the current issues in a motivation. In addition, this course also discusses about the leadership because this is very important for an industrial engineer. This chapter explains about the what is leadership, what distinguishes a manager and leader, because leader and manager are different things. This chapter also discusses about the theory of early leadership, and then this course also discusses about the operations and value chain management. Student needs to know what operation management is, the contract manufacturing and services organizations, describe manager's role in improving productivity, and discuss the strategic role of the operation management. Describe the benefit that result from value chain management, and then explain the obstacles to value chain management and the current issues in operation management. This chapter is very important to understand in order to increase the productivity of the company so that the output produced is in accordance with the desired target with the minimum possible cost. Okay, I think that's all from my explanation. I'm sorry if there are mistakes. I hope you understand. Thank you for your attention. Wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.